Alright, so today's video is factoring using the X method, which is not my favorite, but it's quick and easy. Um, so, kids like it, and, vertical alignment and all that. Now, I will, disclaimer, the reason I don't like it is because when you get into larger polynomials, more, binomial, but like powers of 3, powers of 4, and so on. This method's not really going to work anymore. You are going to need to know how to factor out a greatest common factor and all that. So all that pain I put you through with the first 5 videos or so isn't for nothing. So this will work for now, but this is sort of exclusive to quadratics, right? So let's just jump right in. Straight out of the gate, the setup is familiar. We will find two numbers that multiply to give us the product of A and C up on the top. But when we add them together, the sum is equal to B. And our setup is our familiar little X pattern. The difference this time is that we're going to set up a fraction using A as a denominator, and that's going to help us find out what goes in these blanks, if you will. So it is sort of a fill-in-the-blank setup. All right, so demo problem already set up for you. We have 4x squared plus 16x plus 15. We should by now, I would hope, realize that A is the first coefficient, B is the second coefficient, and C, in this case for a quadratic, is the constant at the end. What we need to do is find two numbers that when we multiply them, when we multiply them together, they give us the product of 4 and 15, which product means multiplication. So 60, because 4 times 15 is 60. And then when we add them together, they give us 16. If you're having trouble coming up with two numbers that do that, you can always set up your little t-table and start running down numbers that when you multiply them, they give you 60. Or if you are having trouble coming up with the other factor, you can always divide 60 by each of these numbers and keep going until you find what you're looking for. So for example, 60 divided by 1 is 60. That doesn't work because 60 plus 1 is 61, not 16, so not what we're looking for. 60 divided by 2 is 30, so that would add up to give us 32, not quite there. And we can keep going down this. Where's 5? 12? Yeah, 6 is 10. And when we go far enough, we do find what we're looking for. 6 times 10 gives us 60, and 6 plus 10 gives us 16. So we put 6 and 10 as our two numbers that we're looking for, our two key values, right? The difference now, so this is where this gets different. We will set up a fraction where A is our denominator, so we'll put 4 underneath these two numbers. So we have one value is 6 over 4 and one value is 10 over 4. We will then reduce those fractions. 6 over 4 reduces to 3 over 2, and then 10 over 4 reduces to 5 over 2. And then we use these numbers to sort of fill in what we're looking for. The number on the bottom will go in the first slot. That will be our coefficient on our x's. And then the number on top will go in our second slot. So we have 3 here and 5 there. So our factors of our quadratic are 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 5. And if we've done it correctly, we can multiply these out and get the quadratic that we started with. So what I'd like to do now, which is par for the course for these videos, is I would like to give you a chance to solve this one real quick before we reveal the answer. So the setup, we have 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. So obviously our A is 6, our B is 11, and our C is 3. So I'm going to give a brief intermission, and I want to see if, well, I'm not going to be able to see, obviously, because I'm not there. But take a moment, see if you can solve this one, and then we'll check our answers here in a moment. All right, so here's a solution. We see that 6 and 3 multiply to give us 18, so we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 18 and add up to 11. Those numbers would be 9 and 2. So then we take our 9 and 2 and we set up a fraction where those numbers are the numerator and 6, which is our a value, is the denominator. When we reduce that, the first one reduces to 3 over 2, just like the problem up above. Second one reduces to 1 over 3. So this time, the two coefficients that go on our x are 2 and 3, which are the denominators of these two fractions. And the constants are 3 and 1. And if you wanted to, you could surely multiply this out using whatever method. I still say FOIL. I know we're not supposed to say that anymore, but, you know, whatever. But multiply it out however you want. Distribute this across the other binomial, and you would get what you started with. So there you have it. That is the X method. Hope the video was helpful. If not, well, you know when my tutoring hours are, so hopefully I'll see you then. Until next time.